What's up everyone, Amen Villa here. Star Wars Visions is a project arranged by Disney where anime studios, 7 to be exact, have animated standalone episodes set in the Star Wars universe. Overall, I think the series was pretty good. Some episodes were okay, while others were simply breathtaking. So today I decided to do another tier list where I rank all 9 episodes on an S to D scale, since none of the episodes deserved an E or an F tier. And this video will also contain no spoilers, just some basic plot explanations, so you will be able to experience the series for yourself after this video. So the first episode was The Duel, animated by Kamikaze Doga, same studio that assisted in animating some parts of JoJo. As a first episode, I think it did a good job. It had a sort of samurai feel to it and had a very grayish color palette. The art style was unique and gave a dark feel to the episode, and the flow of the action sequences was very well executed. The plot is pretty basic. Essentially, it starts off with a force-sensitive man arriving on a planet. Soon after, the planet gets raided by stormtroopers while he tries to protect the village where he is staying. At one point, he finds himself in a duel with another strong enemy towards the end of the episode. Overall, this is one of the most average episodes of the bunch plot-wise, but the unique animation does give it some extra charm. I think I'll put it in the B tier. Overall, a good start for the series. Next, we have the second episode, Tatooine Rhapsody by Studio Colorido. The only anime I've seen from this studio is Burn the Witch, so Colorido is more of an underground studio. This episode was the complete opposite from The Duel. Bright colors, fun characters, and very few cinematic action sequences. This episode revolves around a band trying to get popular around the galaxy, and we see the evolution of their journey as one of their band members finds himself in a sticky situation. However, the whole episode fell flat in my opinion. The animation was decent, but the plot was basic and I couldn't get invested in the characters, so as a result I couldn't really get into the whole plot. Also, this episode didn't feel very Star Wars to me, even if parts of the story happen on Tatooine, the most iconic Star Wars planet. Overall, this was my least favorite episode. Was it bad? No, but it wasn't nearly as good as the others, so this is going in the D tier, the low point in the series for me. Thirdly, we have The Twins by Studio Trigger, which were responsible for animes such as Kill la Kill, Darling in the Franxx, and the movie Promare. I love this studio, and this episode showed me why. The character design is reminiscent from the animes mentioned previously, and the action sequences have great choreography. The story follows a twin sibling duo, both belonging to the dark side, trying to obtain a super weapon. However, on the day of the obtention, the brother steals it as he gets a vision that the object will bring harm to his twin sister. They both duel against each other to see who will obtain the murderous weapon in the end. It has some epic action sequences, funny segments. Overall, it was loads of fun to watch. However, the progression of the plot is sometimes questionable. I won't spoil anything, but there are instances that will probably make you scratch your head. But there are more positives than negatives for this episode. I'll put the twins in the A tier. Studio Trigger, in my opinion, has delivered with this installment. Next is The Village Bride by Kinema Citrus, who were responsible for making one of the most popular isekai animes, The Rising of the Shield Hero. This episode was very good, and in my opinion had one of the best plots. Essentially, it starts off with people arriving on a new planet and seeing a man carrying a woman on his back, which we then learn are husband and wife. The Voyagers talk to the couple and learn that they are part of the leaders of a local village who is going to be attacked by enemy forces for their resources. The new arrivals then ultimately decide to protect the village against the attack, and some very cool and badass battles ensue. Not only was the plot interesting, but it had gorgeous animation, character design, and an overall satisfying finale. The story flowed nicely, even if there are some dialogue-heavy instances. Overall, an A tier, but a high A tier, just shy of the S tier. This one felt incredibly Star Wars, and makes me want to watch more Kinema Citrus projects in the near future. The next episode is The Ninth Jedi by Productions IG, the biggest and most popular studio of the bunch. Responsible for amazing animes like Haikyuu, Psycho Pass, Kuroko no Basket, Kimi no Todoke, and many more. I'm going to say it, this was my favorite episode. Not only was it the longest out of the bunch, but it was the most plot and action heavy. It follows an underground lightsaber craftsman and his daughter. He's basically a secret lightsaber supplier to Jedis all around the galaxy. However, at one point, his lab gets pillaged by enemy forces. Fortunately, he has finished a big batch of weapons and tells his daughter to bring the sabers to a clan form of supposed Jedi. She runs away and tries to avoid the enemy forces, and action and a couple of plot twists ensue. This felt like Star Wars. It has lightsaber action, blaster action, speeder action, epic animation, Like, what more can I ask for? When I imagine Star Wars fused with anime, this is it. It truly was a Star Wars anime, and an amazing one at that. S tier, I really want this story to be further explored in the future, as it does have an open ending. Productions IG did not disappoint. Next is T0-B1, no idea if I said that right, by Science Saru, studio responsible for animating Devilman Crybaby and Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken. When I first saw this anime, I thought to myself, this is Astro Boy. A small robot with an old scientist master, yep, Astro Boy. The story follows a small humanoid robot who dreams of being a Jedi and wielding the Force. One day, however, the Elder Master gets attacked, and our little machine friend needs to fight to protect himself as he learns the truth about his master and the essence of the Force. The animation style of this episode is adorable, however, I didn't enjoy this one as much. Sure, it has some good moments, and the ending did make me smile, but it kind of felt that the Astro Boy animation style made it feel not really Star Wars, but more of a robot anime with Star Wars references sprinkled on as an afterthought. So for that, I will give it a C tier, almost a B quite honestly, but when I look at the duel, I just think that episode did a much better job of conveying an overall Star Wars based mini story. Next episode is The Elder by our friends at Studio Trigger. Whereas The Twins was classic Studio Trigger, The Elder was the complete opposite. Not in a way that it was bad, but more that it does not feel like Studio Trigger made this episode at all. It has a different animation style from the traditional wacky out of the box colorful stuff Trigger normally does, and I do tip my hat off to them for doing this. The plot follows two Jedi, a Padawan and his master, who land on a planet, and the master senses a disturbance in the Force. They then find an elderly man who has a secret up his sleeve that I sadly can't say. I can say, however, that he brings lots of trouble to our main cast. This episode has a great duel sequence and feels like a Star Wars episode. I got Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon vibes with this. Very reminiscent of the Darth Maul battle in The Phantom Menace, albeit the anime was missing a very important part. And again, seeing Trigger trying something new and in the end delivering a positive result truly is amazing. So for that, I will put this episode in the A tier. I would love to see Trigger animating more shows with this animation style. Next we have Lop and Oko by Geno Studio, responsible for the Golden Kamuy series. I'll start by saying that of all of the episodes, this is the one that makes me want to see what happens next the most. It has a powerful ending that is left open, and I think it would make an amazing standalone series. The story follows an orphan slave-like rabbit animal named Lo escaping and getting adopted into a new family composed of a father and his daughter named Oko. Time passes and the Empire has taken over their planet for their resources. Oko leaves the family, stating she thinks the Empire would do good for the planet, going against her father's ideology. Lop decides to run after Oko and convince her that she is wrong, with action-packed and emotional events ensuing. At first I thought this anime was made by Trigger for some reason, I don't know, maybe it's because Lop made me think of the B&A anime. Like I said, initially the ending is amazing and you really do want to see what happens next. The characters are memorable, the action is intense, and most importantly, it felt like Star Wars. Geno Studio knocked it out of the park, so their episode deserves the S tier. I will definitely go take a look at Golden Kamuy soon. And finally, the last episode is Akakiri by Science Saru. This episode was by far the darkest. It starts off with the Jedi getting visions of an unknown person dying in front of him. He then decides to go help one of his friends who is being controlled by a wielder of the Force. What happens next is shocking, and the ending took me by surprise. So far, all of the episodes ended with hope and a sort of positive message, but you won't get this feeling with this one. It's a great way to end the Star Wars Visions series, as it shows how truly hard the war is on a psychological scale. However, this episode is on the more weaker side with animation and action sequences, so I'll put it in a B tier. It doesn't feel as much as a Star Wars episode compared to the higher episodes, but it's still worth the watch for the unpredictable ending. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is my Star Wars Visions tier list. Now I just want to say that, even if some episodes are in the lower tiers, none of them were bad. Star Wars Visions lived up to my expectations, and hopefully a new series of episodes will release with an even bigger amount of anime studios involved. Fingers crossed. But for now, that's all for this video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. And if ever you have another tier list idea, don't hesitate to leave a suggestion in the comments. It has been me, Amen Villa.
May the Force be with you.